Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this next edition of the Autistic SuperBlog's The Hot Take. This one is going to be 30 years in the making. This is all about Power Rangers. This is the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. And by extension, it's going to be a take on super at of Power Rangers source material, which is called Super Sentai. I gotta be honest with you, my favorite memories of this were not just watching it as it was airing on Fox Kids at the time, but also, and this is where the original comes in. When I was watching it 30 years ago, in the original, like 1993, I remember watching. I remember watching as a kid all the way through Turbo, and I got back to it in space. And I actually got into it a little bit more when it came to Lightspeed Rescue, Lost Galaxy, Time Force, and it wasn't until later on in my life that I found out, thanks to a great friend of mine, that it was actually born as something called Super Sentai. At the time, I was like, Super what? I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize that it was part of the Japan. I didn't even realize it was a Japanese show at the time. Because for me, I had always thought about Power Rangers as being itself and not something I should think of outside the American sphere. Of course, I found out later on that it was something of a naive thing for me to do to discount the source material of Super Sentai. Um, and it's one of the things that I kicked myself about later on. But there's one there's one moment in my life that I can officially call myself a Super Sentai fan. And that was when I found out that engine that Power Rangers RPM was the last Power Rangers season. At the time at least. Of course, we never knew that Samurai would be going on until much later, but at that point I decided to check out. I had already checked out like Deca Ranger, like Tokusatsu Sentai Deca Ranger, Maji Ranger, Bulk Ranger, a personal favorite of mine, um, Geki Ranger. But I started watching Shinkenger, and I really thought to myself, it was really cool. Then I saw Power Ranger Samurai and realized that it was a note for note translation. And don't even get me started about Super Mega Force or Mega Force and Ghost Sager and Golkaiger. To me, those two are where I broke off because watching Golkaiger, it was just amazing how Super Sentai put 35 years of their best work out in one show, basically made it all about them. It was all about the future, of course, and the present, but it was also about the past, showing people why these things happen, why these things matter, why these things matter as much as they do right now. So that's where I broke off with Gokaiger. At that point, I was a Super Sentai fan from then on out, and then it gets to and there have been some other things besides Gokaiger that I'm a fan of. I was especially a fan of Lupin Ranger vs. Pot Ranger, especially with no, with Takao Noel and his role in that. But I felt that it was I thought that was so awesome to really to really like see about Super Sentai and about Power Rangers, about how different they could be, but also how similar they could be in the same time. Um, but to me, I always appreciated Forever Red, and I appreciated to a lesser extent Once a Ranger from Operation Overdrive. But I wanted to make sure that I did this video to kind of not only salute Power Rangers, but also salute Super Sentai in the same breath, because it's kind of like Married with Children. You can't have one without the other. Without Power Rangers, without Super Sentai, Power Rangers wouldn't survive, and vice versa, perhaps. I just wanted to take this time out to say, I just wanted to say to all the Power Rangers fans out there, may the power protect you all, and all to the Super Sentai fans, you guys are amazing as well. So, if you like these videos, check me out here on the Autistic Super channel, and you can check out all my videos on the autisticsuperblog.wordpress.com. Stay safe, stay strong, and for 30 years, I need to say this, may the power protect you all, and as always, shine on.